Well, good morning, everyone. It is Sunday, November the 7th. Did you remember to set your clocks back? Yeah, it's a fall. We fall back. And anyway, hopefully you're doing well. Feel free to subscribe to this channel. Click the thumbs up to like the video. And feel free to comment. And please, please, please try to share a video somewhere on your favorite social media. Just to help spread the word about this channel, because I'm out here, I'm just trying to help y'all out, okay? And one thing I'm gonna talk about is society as a whole, Americans as a whole, the globe as a whole, people can be negative. We have negative thoughts, negative mindsets. We don't always express them to other people, but we have self-doubt. We question ourselves. We say we can't, okay? Don't say you can't. Ask yourself a question. How can I? Don't say I can't. Say how can I? And this can be used in a variety of ways. If you like sports and you're a kid and you want to play sports and you're like, oh, I can't do that. I can't be as good as them. Don't say I can't. Say how can I? But now, when it comes to sports, we're not all blessed with the athletic talent to be the top of the game, in our chosen sport. In fact, most of us, the majority of us, almost 100% of us are not blessed with that talent to make it to the top, okay? So I'm not talking about sports. I'm not talking about other things. What I'm talking about is financial stuff. If you want something, if you're 21 years old, 22 years old, you just got your first job, you got a paycheck, you got a credit card, and you want something. One of the problems is society's not saying I can't get it, but they're not saying how can I get it. They just go get it because they have a credit card. It's instant gratification. It's like buy now, pay later. That's a big thing right now, buy now, pay later, okay? But you got to shift your mindset. If something costs, it's the new iPhone, the new Pixel phone. It's something that costs, $1,000. Our brains are saying we want it now. We need to question, how can we get it? We can't, if we just go put it on our credit card, we rack up our debt. We go in debt. You hear stories after stories after stories about fellows and gals racking up credit card debt, thousands of dollars, and they can't pay it down. They dig the hole to get down in there and they can't get out. Okay? So we need to slow it down a little bit. Sit back a little bit, slow it down. Write goals down. Write it down on paper what you want. Okay? Sit down. Do it today. It's a Sunday. Hopefully you're not working today. Write down a list of just things you want to accomplish and or things you want to get. Maybe you want to buy your first primary residence. But maybe because of watching my channel or other channels, your primary residence is going to be a duplex or a triplex or a quadplex where you can live in one unit and your tenants will pay your mortgage for you, okay? That may be one of your goals. But I'll give you an example of something. Back in April of 2020, I sat down and I wrote down a 2-year plan. I was living in Virginia. I was wanting to move to the state of Florida. I knew what I wanted. I wanted a nicer house than what I had. I wanted a swimming pool, and I really wanted to be on water. It could be Gulf access, it could be fresh water, it could be a lake, but I really wanted to be on water. I really wanted a swimming pool. I really wanted a nice house, but it was expensive. And I looked at it, I wrote it down on paper, and I estimated what one of those houses will cost. And then I ran the numbers on how much money I had. Like I looked at what my pension was. I'm retired with a pension. It's not that much money, but it's a pension. It's something. I looked at the amount of rental properties I had, and I came up with a figure. I don't have that sheet in front of me, but I came up with a figure of what I was bringing in. And I was like, well, to afford a house at that price, this is what I need. It was a bigger figure. And then I wrote it all down, and I was like, once I got it down on paper, I was like, okay, how do I do this? I didn't say, I can't do that. That's too expensive. I was like, how do I do this? And at first I was stumped because I was like, it was a big difference. I needed to go from whatever I was making, say $50,000 a year, I needed to get up to $100,000 a year without working a job. I wanted passive income from my rental properties, but I was like, how do I do it? And I came up with what turned out to be the solution. I figured out a plan to do 2 cashback refinances on 2 of my properties. One was my triplex, one was a single family home. I talked to the financial institution. I found out I could do it. I ran the numbers. I figured out how much, based on what we thought it would appraise for, I could pull out. I then ran the numbers on would I still positive cash flow, because I have my goals of at least $250 a unit. But then I wanted how much cash would I get to buy other properties. And I'm not going to go into details of exactly how it all played out, because this would be an hour-long video or something. But by doing that, and I ran into roadblocks, I struggled. I made it to like 2 days prior to closing when I got a phone call from it was a credit union. I got a phone call and they said, oh, we hate to tell you this, but you're disqualified. 2 days prior to closing. And I was lining up to buy properties, and I was like, I was devastated. I was like, what do I do? And the lady was like, I'm going to talk to someone else on the commercial side of our facility. They'll be calling you. And a young man, Peyton, because I think Peyton will watch this video eventually, perhaps, he called me and he told me he had seen my application, I guess, and he said I would have to fill out another form, but he could help me out. It would be a commercial loan, and he said he could help me out. He told me he would give me the same interest rate that the credit union, the residential side was going to give me. The only thing I didn't like, that wasn't perfect, he did not give me 30-year fixed rate mortgage. I tell you, I say always try to get 30-year fixed rate mortgage. It was a commercial loan. It was, instead of 30-year amortization, it was 25-year amortization. And it was fixed rate for 5 years, and at 5 years it could reset. And it had guidelines of how it would reset. Okay, so I knew I wanted to sell my triplex within 5 years. So I wasn't too worried about it resetting in 5 years, because I figured I would have it sold by then. The single family home, I want to sell that also, but I may keep it longer than those 5 years. Because interest rates are still staying low. They're not going to go. They're creeping up. But I have currently I have some interest rates that are 5.25 or something. I'm positive cash flowing. Just if interest rates go up, I can still, you run the numbers, you can possibly, if you get it at the right price, you can positive cash flow. So in that single family home, even as I pay the mortgage down over 5 years, I'll have a smaller balance. So my payment probably wouldn't change too much. It might even go down. And if I have a higher interest rate, the payment may drop. Okay. But anyway, realize nothing happens overnight. Okay. And since this is a financial channel, and I shared a story of what I did, but getting back to you, if you want to get wealthy, it doesn't happen overnight. Okay. It's a journey. It's a process. It will take time. Young people have to realize that it will take time, but it doesn't have to take 30 or 40 years. It doesn't have to take that. It could be 5 or 10 years if you get your mind right and you really focus on it. Okay. The way to do it, though, is real estate. Real estate is what can get you there. Stocks are fine. Stocks can help you build up a savings account. It can build up money. It can make you more money. You can become a millionaire in stocks. But real estate is where it's at. Real estate is how you can exponentially grow your wealth much, much quicker than you can with stocks. Stocks, you can get rich. Real estate, you can get wealthy. You can create what they call legacy wealth. If I live for another 25 years, by the time I pass away, I will have a portfolio of real estate that can be passed on to my heirs, whoever my heirs are, my boys, somebody, some charity organization, my grandkids, whatever, but it's generational wealth. It's legacy wealth. Okay. But you got to get started with the first step to get that first house. How do you get that first house when you don't have it? You sit down with a piece of paper and you write down the goals of what you can do to get started. Can you cut expenses? Can you increase your income? It's two ways. Cut expenses, increase income. Cut expenses, increase income. I mentioned house hacking. I mentioned living in a duplex, triplex, or quadplex. That is a great way for any young person to get started. Buying your first home that your tenants are paying your mortgage for, and you get started. You're on the property ladder. Okay, get you going. It's a great way to do it. But just get a piece of paper, write your goals down. Write down a big goal, but then write like where you want to get yourself, but then write down the small goal. If you have nothing, no savings at all, maybe your goal is to save $5,000. Maybe your goal is to save $10,000. But if you get a goal to save $5,000, get it done, and then double it to 10, then then get it to 15 and 20. Because if you can get the $15,000 to $20,000 range, you can get your first rental property. It's not an insurmountable goal. Okay? All right, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm trying to keep my videos shorter. So y'all take care. Just do it. Just keep plugging away. And don't say you can't. Figure out to say, this is how I can do it. This is how I will do it. No more of this, I can't. Yes, you can. You just got to figure it out. Okay? All right. Y'all take care. Mazske is signing out.